Done.
Okay.
Sorry, my miss. I need to share. Yes, so this is where we were. System is the default database that any SQL server will have. And under this, there is a sysconfig table that we have. What I was explaining was the 3 tabs around the tables. So the last one is about giving you the data. The second last one is about how your table structure is, which gives you all the details of the columns, the data types, and what kind of constraints you have on each of the columns. And the first one is more info about how much of space is it consuming on the server and things like that. This is more for an admin tool kind of. Okay. Now for us to start, I think the first thing we should do is how do you create a new database? So one of the ways is to do a right click on this side and you can do a create schema. Okay. So this, for example, will be my first database that I create. Okay. And when you do apply, this is basically a graphical user interface. There is another method which also we'll learn, which will be through SQL coding. What I'm showing you right now is a graphical user interface used to do this task. So this is how the code will be. Create schema, first database. Right? And this, when you down, there is a apply. I hope you all are able to see the apply also in the video.
Yes.
So if you press apply, it will go ahead and execute this script. Once it does that, this is how your first database got created, which we did just now. When you create a blank, it will not have any tables, views, stored procedures, or functions. You have to create all of that. Right? So under this, let me first just close this thing. So if I double click it, this gets active. Can you see it in bold now? Which means of all my databases, this is the active one right now. You can either do a double click or you can write use and the name of the database. For example, if I write use my first schema and put a semicolon and I run this query, so it will always throw an error because it has not found this name. There is a spelling error, right? Schema was MA, so I need to correct that. Now it has made my first schema as the active database. That's why it is highlighted now. Okay. Now let's do this. I'll first take you to a presentation where we'll understand some of the commands and then we'll come back and practice here. Okay. सर आपका डाउनलोड हो गया?
मैं I'm just अभी uninstall किया.
Okay.
No problem, you carry.
So you can either do the custom install or you can use the developer wala first option from that the installable file that we had, if you remember.
So try that.
Or let me know which option you're picking so that you don't get into a problem again.
Yeah, can you just give me a minute? I'll just share my screen so that once it's installed, I will be up to speed.
Yes. आपके पास इंस्टॉलेबल फाइल तो है ना, MSI आपने डाउनलोड की थी?
वो मैंने उड़ा दी थी शायद तो, क्योंकि मेरे वो
ओके,
डाउनलोड्स इतने ज्यादा होते हैं कि मैं उड़ाता रहता था, तो देख लो तो शायद तो नहीं गई।
ठीक है, देन गो डाउन। इसमें कम्युनिटी GL, हाँ, that's what we,
ये वाला क्या था ये हमने,
हाँ हाँ
हाँ अतुल ने ये वाला
हाँ
किया
जी,
था।
माई एसक्यूएल इंस्टॉलर था। जस्ट
इसके
क्लिक।
अंदर आएगा।
ये इंस्टॉलर फॉर विंडोज।
या
डाउनलोड
यस,
MSI इंस्टॉल,
या
वो तो बाद में चेंज करता है ना। 2.4
435
MB
MB
में 435
बिग
MB
नहीं,
है।
नीचे वाला, हाँ, 435।
बिग वन।
The first one is the web community, so we do an cloud stuff.
ओके इंस्टॉलर करना।
Down,
नो
no
थैंक्स।
thanks. Let's start your download.
I think it's not showing up on the screen,
Okay.
but it is
There is.
downloaded.
बैकग्राउंड चालू हो चुका है।
हाँ,
So I am on this screen now. Let me just share again.
yes, you can click next.
Developer default.
Developer default will take more space. Do you have a space issue? Then go back and pick custom and pick up workbench and one more thing. Last one,
Custom.
custom. Yeah. Next. Now under SQL servers. Yes, click there. Further. Further. Oh, it selected everything, sir.
Okay. No. Okay. So let me just clear it off.
You can remove everything, get everything back in one cell. Huh. And then applications. Click there. SQL workbench. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Click. Yes. Take that.
Okay.
That's enough for us. Next.
Enable select features.
No, not
Checkbox
required.
feature. Okay.
No. Next. It's saying it's already exists. Okay, say a yes. It's overwriting your part. Execute.
मैं एक सेकंड में शेयरिंग बंद करता हूँ because it speeds up after that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
आपका 2 लॉगिन है क्या? Okay.
Because I thought I can see from one and practice in the other.
How much percent is over? Half is over?
72.
Okay.
The screen sharing, I have realized many applications slow down. I don't know why. Especially
ये
Excel.
स्लो डाउन मेरे मैक में काफी पार्ट ऑफ स्क्रीन कभी शेयर ही नहीं हो पाता.
अच्छा.
Zoom's compatibility with Mac is not so good.
Maybe other way around.
Possible.
Mac want everything proprietary. Yeah.
Possible.
So this is done. I go to next.
Next. Yes.
Next.
Next. Yes.
Okay.
This is
Go to
fine.
next.
Next. Yes. 1 minute.
Next.
Okay, go to next. Now it will ask you for a password for root. So it is here. It is saying there are 2 types of password authentication methods. Here is where you're putting that root password.
Okay.
Repeat same password. Next.
Okay.
Now 1 minute. So here the thing you were asking, we can add users here also when we are installing the server.
Okay.
On that screen. Okay.
On the last
It's your
screen?
Windows DB server in the screen before this. Yes.
Here. So if I
Here,
want to add
if you
a
see
Tulya, I
add
can add
user
a Tulya.
Yeah, you can add a Tulya. And you can decide what kind of role you want to give him. So if you click on the tab, which is the drop down DB admin, the one below this, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you want him to be what kind of user? Is he a security guy? Is he a manager? Is he a database designer? Is he only a backup guy?
So we are not getting into that right now, isn't it?
We are not getting into that.
Okay, fine. Then let's move ahead.
Cancel and next year.
Okay. Standard system account.
Yes. Next.
Okay.
Execute.
No, I don't have to click
You
anything.
have execute down.
No, I don't have
It will
to check
automatically
anything.
execute, I think. No, it will automatically execute. It is allowing you to click. No.
Okay. Okay.
You'll do it one after the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this all didn't happen last time.
Yes, this didn't happen for you. I think what happened is we installed some other SQL server. After that,
Possibly.
Workbench didn't get installed. For Atulya, all these steps happened. So I was sure his installation is right.
Okay.
Finish.
Finish.
Yeah. Next.
Finish.
Finish. Yeah. It is saying it is going to start MySQL Workbench after setup on its own, which is fine. Finish.
Okay. Done.
Yes, it will start, no? That's what it said. It is starting MySQL Workbench.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's done. Now yeah. So I just say new connection.
Now you've got the instance. You don't need to do that. Now you already have an instance with connection done.
Okay, this one.
You can cancel this.
Okay.
Yes.
Then what do? I go here.
Just double click that. Double click, yeah. Put the root password. So this is a place where you create connections. You can create multiple connections because you already have one. We are not creating.
And then
This is
till
used
now
in
we
scenarios.
and we have gone where after this.
1 minute. अब आपका server status पे click करिए left. Management के नीचे, yes. This will show you the SQL server running on 3360 port.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Then what we
Now
did?
from administration, you will move to, yeah, there is a schemas tab down. Administration and schemas. Click on schemas. There is an information window on your left.
Yeah.
Yes, click there, schemas. Yes.
Hmm.
So this is the default database that is there.
Sure.
If you click
But
on
in
tables,
that
you will find one table inside.
right.
Click on that. Yes, this is your system config table.
Got it.
Click there. This will show you all the records which are in this.
Got it. Okay.
आपका जो right वाला window है, you can just drag your window. It will open up the screen where you can write the query.
Which window?
SQL additions. I'm saying SQL additions. That portion you can shorten it a little. 1 minute. I'll show you where. It'll be easier.
Okay, so I think we have covered till here, right? That's where we were.
Yes.
Okay, because I think we created one file name also, no, just now. Oh, that you are only explaining.
Yes. So on, you can create the database. Let's do that so that we are all on the same page then.
Okay.
You can click either on sys or anywhere in that window and do a right click. You will get to create a new schema. Yeah. There is a create schema option. Click there.
Right.
You will put a new name to your schema. You can type a name. Yes. Yes.
Apply.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, got it.
So this is how the SQL part of schema creation is.
Understood.
So this test one is your first database created.
Got it.
Now you can go under it and see the tables and create a table also. Yeah.
I got it. Understood.
So the way I'll take it forward now is we'll go through a presentation which will have some parts of SQL, broadly letting us know what all we will cover kind of. And then we'll come back to the workbench and do it hands-on because that's the best way to learn SQL.
Perfect.
All right. And don't worry about the code which comes up on your screen because we will be doing it in SQL and that's when you'll get the hands-on. All right. Okay, I'll have to stop my video. There is saying unstable internet. I'll come back in a while. Okay. Yeah, so this is how your system is, which we explained last time also. These are the client machines which talk to the RDBMS as we say. And here is where your database resides. So any query we write goes through this management system and hits the database. Okay. We had kind of discussed this, that SQL is not is a data manipulation language. It's not a programming language. Its commands are only understood by a DBMS engine, which has to be like MySQL. Do you remember any other DBMS engine, RDBMS engine that we discussed last time? Atulya?
Microsoft SQL.
Right, Microsoft or MSQL server as we call it. Or there is Oracle DBMS, RDBMS. Yeah. So all those understand the same language. So your language will remain the same. Some syntaxes, very small minor changes happen when you move from this to Oracle or to MS SQL Server. SQL commands can be used interactively as query language within the DBMS. That's what we will see. And they can be embedded in programming languages. So whenever there is a program made or an application made, the SQL commands are embedded in that programming language. Because whenever you have to talk to data, you need to use SQL commands. Okay. There are three types of SQL commands. DDL, as we call it, which is data definition language, which has things like create, alter, drop, and we'll understand all of this in detail. Then you have database manipulation language, DML, and data control language. Data control language we will not be using much. Whenever you use a graphical user interface, like we are going to use the My Workbench here in MySQL, this is kind of inbuilt feature in there, which I'll show you when we go through. So these are the three languages that we're talking about. DCL, which is controlling the database, this is more a maintenance activity and is used more by administrators, which is about grant, add, revoke. This is about giving rights to a user or taking away the rights from a particular user. So it's more a database administrator's job that happens with this language. We will be using DDL and DML extensively. DDL basically is used for managing your database, more like creating a table, creating a view, or altering a table, altering a view, dropping stuff. And DML is most extensively used because this is where you're manipulating the database, the select part is. So this includes your insert, update, and select. So your major create statements, just now we saw create schema that we did. We will go further and do a create table and create view also. When we use a tool like we are using the Workbench here, of course, it is easily available. You saw it at the right click, you have a create schema. Otherwise, you used to have a SQL prompt. So the original SQL which was developed was on the command prompt. You remember we just did CMD in Rahul's screen where you get a black terminal, which used to be a DOS screen. From there, you enable SQL and then you write all these commands there. That's how it used to work. But today, this is far more easier. This is a synopsis of how you need to do a database, a table creation. So for doing any table creation, you will need to understand the data types. You need to identify the columns. You need to understand which column can be null, which cannot be null. You need to find out which are your primary keys and foreign keys. Primary key, I think we discussed, which was the unique identifier value which you have in a table. You can have a table without a primary key also. Foreign key did we discuss? Atulya, do you recollect?
Primary and foreign key, yes.
So what is a foreign key? Do you remember?
It was part of the table. I'm lying right.
Okay. So a foreign key is basically used to link two tables. For example, in your employee table, if you have employee ID, and in your leave table also you have employee ID. In your employee table, your employee ID will become primary key because you will have only one record for an employee, right? But in your leaves table, you could have multiple records for the same employee because same employee can take leave 3 times. So employee ID in the leaves table becomes a foreign key. A foreign key will be used to match with the primary key to get a data out of two tables. We will see it when we do it also. Yeah, so you need to identify the primary keys, the foreign keys, identify the constraints, and then you create the tables and indexes. Now this is how your create table syntax is. And this is for you to only get a feel of it. We'll try and write a few create tables there so that you get confidence that you can do it. Basically, it will have create table, a table name, and you can name your table anything. These are some of the optional things that you use. Where, and then you put the column names. For each column name, you will have to give what is the data type and if there are any constraints on the column. This, I think, is better when we do it. Okay, now just a few things before we start writing SQL. So one of the most important things which you should know is SQL is case insensitive, which means if you write W capital, small capital, it does not matter to SQL. All right.
Yes.
After every SQL statement to run a command, you need to have a semicolon. If you don't put a semicolon, it doesn't understand that the statement has ended. So you can write your SQL command in multiple lines. Unless you put a semicolon, it does not understand that the command is complete. Okay. Now this is the command to see databases. Show databases is what you use to see different databases which are there in the system. Once you know these are the databases, suppose you want to use bank database, you will write use bank. Just now I showed you how it highlights up the database that you want to activate. Once you have given this command, so it remembers whatever use you have told it. If you have told it to use bank and then you say show tables, it will show you all the tables in the bank database. If you have mentioned use bank and you go down and write show tables, it will not show you tables in test database or any other ones, which also means that if you're trying to access a table which is in another database, but your active database is bank, it will throw an error to you. Or let me show you that in the live thing, what I'm trying to say. Okay, this I think is fairly well understood. This we discussed last time. These are the records of the table. These are your column names, the fields as we call it. Primary key we had discussed. Normally a primary key is used to join, which I will come to when we do it. You can also do a description of a table. So you can say describe city, for example. So this will give you all the data types and the column name details of that table.
Yeah, so Parul,
Yeah.
so what's the hierarchy? It is the database, then schema, then
Ma'am, your
tables.
voice is breaking.
No, the
Can you hear
hierarchy,
me?
schema and database is the same thing. Schema is like the
Didn't
blueprint of the.
Okay, just go back a couple of slides then. I think that's where I got confused a little bit because it says table name, it says database and then schema. Just push back a couple of slides. Yeah, this hierarchy.
This one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, when you create an instance, that also is called database. Under it, for my understanding, schema and database are almost the same thing, but at an instance level, it becomes a database.
Got it.
Or let me come back to you on this.
Sure.
I didn't note this. I normally take schema as database. And
No,
then
even I
under
thought as much, but I just got a little bit confused here that because my understanding was also similar. Schema is a database, but there is a database is a superset of multiple schemas. Maybe, yeah, okay, fine. You can carry on right now.
I think we should clarify that because in
It
my
says
mind both.
because it says database contains schemas which describes the organization of the database. A schema can contain tables, files, procedures,
Yes,
constraint
which
triggers.
means
Okay.
the way we look at it saying, I mean, I have been saying these as either or type schema and database, which is not right. So a database is a bigger holder under which you have schemas. And under the schema, you have tables, indexes, stored procedures, etc., etc. Yeah, you're right.
Perfect.
Okay, so we discussed describe is one command which you can use, which gives you basically the structure of the table in terms of the columns, data types, which is the primary key, and so on. This is again similar to understand what are the columns and details of that. Then you have the data manipulation language. So under data manipulation, once you create a table, you also need to insert records. Now in the GUI that we are using in MySQL, what happens is you're allowed to import a file also. But it doesn't take an import of a direct Excel. You need to convert it to a CSV format, okay, which you can try later. So you can import a file with columns, and I think you have this file of some Olympics countries that you shared last time, right?
Yes, yes.
So not now, but as part of your exercise, try and convert that to CSV and import it, okay, as one of the exercises. Now to insert data, the syntax is insert into table name and values. This will basically insert one row in the table. Now when you give the column names also of the table, for example, here insert into course, we say course code, course name, credit hours, and then give the values. It will put this first value in the first column that you have mentioned. So 3 columns and 3 values is what you've given. Here you can swap the columns also, which will be there. Yeah. So one is that the column list is optional. If you're using all the columns that are available in the table, you can just write insert into course and give it the values instead of saying which column is which value. That is not mandatory. 2 is that whenever you want to change the column list, for example, if you're giving credit hours as the first thing, you can do that by saying insert into course, and then you will say credit hours and put the value of 4 also first here under the values. All right. You can also insert null data. There are different ways to insert null data. So one is you just leave it blank. It will insert a null in the third column. Okay. The other way is you put 2 single quotes. This will also insert a null, and you can write null also. This will also insert a null. This is on delete. Now, if you say delete course, this will delete the complete table. All the rows that are there, it will get deleted. Okay. But suppose you want to delete a particular row, then you should give a condition that delete from this table. We use the term wherever we want to define something more. So we say where course code is equal to, suppose, MIS 220. So this will first use your where clause to identify the row that you're talking about, and then it will delete that particular row. You can use the where clause on any of the fields here. So if you see here, we had course name, course code, credit hours. So you can also decide on deleting records where your hours are 4, for example. Or if you want to decide where your hours are less than 4, all those records also. So you can put conditions also here in your where clause. This is about updating a table. So update course table set hours equal to 5. If you write such a command, it will go and set hours for all your records because there is no where clause in this. If you want it for some particular rows, you will have to put a where clause. So you can say update course set hours equal to 5, where course code is equal to MIS 220. Okay. Similarly, if you want to change all the hours where your course code starts with MIS, you can use update course set hours equal to 3, where course code like MIS percentage. I'll explain this in more detail. Now this is on the select piece. So select statement is used to retrieve data from a table that you have. And this is the most widely used SQL statement which you would have seen. So a select statement basically has a syntax of select column names from, and you put the table name, and under where you put conditions. Let me do this now. Let's go to SQL and start with writing the code, because I think that will be more helpful. Okay, before that, I think Rahul, you can also pick up. There is a create SQL file that I have loaded in the shared drive. If you can please download
Okay.
that.
I'll do that.
Okay, so this is where I had left this. I'm saying here use my first schema. Okay, so this has enabled the first schema. Now this, if we understand as an interface, this is an interface where this is your query area, which is where you're writing the query. This will show you about your schema and details about that. This is more like your help window, which is less used. And so I said this can be smaller. And the lower piece, action piece, is where you
Which
will
one you
get
said you can follow? Sorry, I missed it.
this one, right side. This is the one I was asking you to make it smaller. This is an automatic context help.
No, I'm not on the cursor. I can't see your cursor. Oh, yeah, got it. Understood. Yeah. Now I can see.
This
Yes.
portion I'm saying.
Yes, I got it.
So this is your query window. We should normally keep this bigger because this is where we'll be writing. Down is where you will get all your errors. So action output will be down, right? And try and keep your response piece bigger, because if it is an error, it throws some detail here. Duration is not really very useful in the scenario that we are in. When you write complex queries, you start looking at how much time does it take to fetch data also. Okay. So right now I have enabled my first schema, and let's try and create my first table. And this, Atulya, you are also on with your computer, right?
Yes.
So the way I would prefer is whatever I'm writing here, you can start writing, so that if there is an issue, we share and we move on.
Okay,
Okay.
one second. I just need to show you my new schema. I cannot see the table function over there.
Share.
I created this new schema. Table.
Yes. Do a right
Create
click.
table. Create table.
Close this window. Yes. You can write the new table name. One minute. You're going too fast. Yes, this is where you will write the table name. So you can write my first table. Yeah, so normally in SQL, you should not be leaving spaces. If you leave spaces, you will have to use single quote. So it is better to use an underscore. That is the method of doing databases. It will show you the SQL syntax here. So if you, one minute. Okay, 1 minute, just hold here. Yes, so you can see the text written, right? Create table, new schema one, my first table, right?
This one.
There's some error. What is the error? You have an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your SQL version for the right syntax used near this at line 2. Cancel? 1 minute, hold. There's something wrong that you're doing here. You have to put column names.
Where? Yeah.
Yes. You can write employee ID, something. EMP underscore ID. Okay. Employee underscore ID. Just tick mark on primary key here. First one.
PK.
Add one more column. Employee name or something. So the interface is quite intelligent. It picks up varchar, assuming that you have to write a text. Yeah, now apply.
Primary.
No, it cannot be. You don't need employee name as primary key. You will never make employee name as primary key. First one has to be non-NN, you'll have to take.
First one.
First one, yes. Yeah, now apply and see if it is working. Or is it showing an error? So this is how the syntax is. Create table, new schema, finish.
Done.
Yes. Now do a refresh near schema if you see. Close this window. You can close it from the top, Tulya. Yeah.
Close this one also. 3 and 4.
Yes. Yes. Leave that. Leave that. Okay. Now do a refresh. Where schemas is written on the right side, there is a refresh button sort of. A little up. Little up. Yes. Right side. Yes. Refresh. Now open up your tables. It will show the table that you've created. Now do the last one, select on my first table, you have 3 icons, right? Click on the last icon, right side. Yes. Yes. Now one way to insert data in this table is also, you can go down in the result grid panel. Yes,
Sorry?
you can put employee ID. Yeah, go down. Yeah, click where null is written. Write one. Put employee name. Put one more record. Employee ID 2. Yeah. Now apply. You have a apply down. This is basically insert records graphical interface. Can you see it's doing insert? It gave you that query. Finish. Okay, now you can try and put one more one in the same table. Run that. No, I'm saying write one again.
One again.
Because we declared, yes, we declared it as a primary key. So ideally it should not allow another one, right? Yeah, now apply. Should throw an error according to me. Got it?
The value 1 is shown.
Yes. So it will not allow you to insert a one again. Because the primary key has to be unique. Okay. So the next thing that you can do now is you have downloaded that create SQL script, right?
Yes, yes.
Go to file, open. Open SQL script. Yeah. Open that file which I've sent you. Rahul, you can also do this parallelly. So we'll have all the database in place.
I am doing it.
Now to run it, you have after save. So the first icon there is a folder icon you can see. Then there is a save icon. After that, the next icon is to run the complete script. Yes, yes,
Okay.
press that. This will execute the selected script. The next one will run everything. So this is now going to create the complete database. So whatever we learned of create table, insert, all of that here is in short going to create the complete database with rows, all your tables with rows. Now do a refresh of your schemas.
No, I have to do the next one also, execute the statement under the keyboard cursor.
No,
So
not required, not required.
there is only the first
Everything
command
would
I
have
have to
run
run,
for you,
right?
no?
Which is,
Yes.
yeah,
You can either select it and run that, or you can use the other one. They both are for running.
I see. Okay.
Atulya, what you can also do is go down in your script, see how many rows are there in the script. Yeah. Scroll down. Use the mouse. I think there are 117 rows or something. I don't remember.
308 in mine.
So some of your rows have not run, no? Atulya?
Whose?
Atulya's. Can you select all and press that run? Atulya?
Control all.
Yeah.
Mine is
Now run.
167, it is showing.
Okay. Now run.
Uh,
No problem if you do it again because it has already got a drop.
mhm.
I think I will also have to do the same.
Yeah, you'll have to select and run it. So the second tab there
Because
runs
mine also
everything from the cursor.
from the everything.
The
From
second
the
one. The
cursor,
first one is the
first
first
one
one
is
after
execute the
say
statement under the, yeah. So I pressed that
if
only, first one after the save. It did not run, it only ran 167 for me.
no select all and then run. I'm saying the first one.
Okay. Now it has kind of run everything. Second time. Same command.
यहाँ पता कैसे चल रहा है कितने फंक्शंस रन हुए हैं?
आप नीचे जाइए आपके लास्ट के कमांड्स एग्जीक्यूट हुए कि नहीं
नीचे
दिखेगा.
आउटपुट में आ रहा है ना.
हाँ 328.
आया 328.
हम्म.
That's how you know. That's why I asked you to scroll down. Now if you do a refresh of your schemas, it will show you all this. So you can see a lot of schemas created, right? You can minimize your new schema one which you created. Yes. So we have created SQL invoicing, SQL inventory, SQL store, SQL HR, 4. Now let's start with yes, you can close this window now, Atulya.
This one, create database.
Yes, yes. Yes. You can close this also. Now we'll open a new query window from query. Sorry. There is one SQL. The first leftmost first icon below file. Yes, click there. So this is your query window. Okay. Okay, now what we will start with is 1 minute. Rahul, you've also reached this place. We can start with commands
Yeah,
now.
yeah, in my this thing, something funny is happening.
What's that?
The first quadrant, which is the biggest quadrant, the new SQL tab, is opening only half. It's not opening fully. I don't know
Will you
why.
share the screen?
Yeah, I'll see. I tried a couple of times this one. So these menu ahead of this I can't read. I'm only able to read menu till here. Let me just menu.
Just click on this. On the right side, there are. Okay.
Whoa, it is happening because of the full screen, not non-full screen issue, but it's sorted.
Okay. So now that we are on the same page, let's. So now what I want you to do is, first I want you to activate the SQL store database there. And how do we do that? So we'll write use SQL underscore. That is the name that you will have to copy from here. Whatever is the name written there, okay? Store. So when I have to run a command, which is where my cursor is, I use this key. Okay, the second one.
How did you copy
Are you
this?
able to see it? Which?
How did you? Okay. It is not letting me select that
I
for
didn't copy. I
copying.
wrote it right now.
Oh, you typed. Okay.
No, it will not allow you to copy. I typed.
Okay.
Yeah. Once I do this, this will bold my active schemas you can see here. Okay.
You have entered it after that? You press the enter? You hit the enter key after the colon?
No, I said after the colon, when your cursor is here, use the second run button, this one. This will run the command where my cursor is. Once you do that, it will show you down, use SQL store, 0 rows affected, and the green means it has been successfully run. All right?
Yes.
Now let's see. Now we'll write the next command, which will be select. And I'm trying to see what is there inside my customers table. So select. A star means give me all the records from customers. Now here when I write, if you can you see this on Zoom? It's giving me on the tooltip the name of the table. I can press the tab and it will pick up the table from this. Now if I'm here and I try to run this command, it will throw an error.
So how did it show up on your listing from?
It will show up automatically because right now my SQL store is in active database, right? So if I write CUS and hold for like 2-3 seconds, it automatically pops up. And then I press a tab, it picks up the full name. And I'm putting a semicolon and running this. Is it working for you all?
No, it is not automatically picking up for me. No problem.
Okay.
So,
semicolon.
What is star?
Sorry.
You said star asterisk. What is it asterisk for?
Yeah. So I'm writing the first
asterisk?
select asterisk. Asterisk is for all records.
Okay, got it. Got
A
it.
select statement is
So that-
basically used to retrieve records from this table. My table name is customers.
Got
Right now, my objective is
Got it.
all records from customers. So the statement I'm
Okay.
writing is select asterisk. I essentially want you all to follow that whatever we are selecting in a select statement comes in one line. From put an enter and then go to the second row. And this is a kind of syntax which is followed by most SQL users, I would say.
Okay.
It also helps you to break up the SQL command. Then you know your select is here from your table. So this customers. And at the end, I'm putting a semicolon. You can either select it, run like this, or if your cursor is here, you can run it like this. Every time you run it, it will show you a success or failure with a timestamp. It will also show you how many rows have been returned here. So this statement, for example, is returning 10 rows.
Select asterisk also you hit the execute command, is it?
No.
Okay.
SQL will not understand it if I do like this. It will throw an error. Oh, surprisingly, it is running.
No, I'm saying
Ideally,
on
it should
select
throw an error.
asterisk. On select asterisk, should I execute or not execute?
No.
Row number 2, row number 3 in your screen.
So you just need to come to row number 4 near the semicolon if your cursor is after the semicolon and run it.
That I've done, but row number 3, as per your screen, I have not executed that. Is it okay?
Not required.
Or that also have to execute? Okay, fine.
No, you don't have to. So for SQL to understand, one command ended here. This was the first command. And the second command is ending here.
Got it.
So everything before this, it will pick up and run.
Everything before that pick up. Understood. Got it. Yeah.
Now, if I want to show you an error case. Yes. So now if you see, I've just typed something else. Can you see this red here? It's thrown an error because it doesn't understand this. Ideally, if I remove a semicolon also, it should throw an error. Okay. अतुल्य यहाँ तक हो गया आपका भी?
हाँ हो चुका है 10 rows दिखा रहा है.
Yes. So one is it gives you an action output, which is what happened to your command, what got returned. It also shows you the data that you asked for, which is here. The 10 rows you can see. So there is a customer ID column, first name column, last name column, birth date, phone, address, city, state, points. Okay. Both of you are able to see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll go step by step. Now in the same statement, if I want to sort my order of any of the columns, I can use order by. So here, because customer ID is already in order, why is customer ID in order? Any thoughts?
Sorry, what's the question?
Why is customer ID already in order? And let's actually see that. So let's first see what is the structure of customers table by doing the second click.
Customer ID might be a primary key.
So this will tell us. Yes, it's a primary key. That's why it is always. Every table is indexed by the primary key automatically. Okay. So customer ID, you can see a yellow key here. That is the symbol for primary key. It also says PK, which is ticked, which means this is a primary key. And this is all for non not null values, which you allow or disallow. Okay. Now let me go back. Okay. So here what I'm trying to do, because primary key, this is already ordered. Let me try order by, I can use points. Points is the last column, right? And now I'll run. So can you see what's happened? It's done an order by of points. In order by, I can use ascending as the default. Descending, I can put it as part of syntax and it will do a descending order by. Okay. I can also do a order by on first name. What do you think? Will it do or will it throw an error?
Alphabet is
So
order.
SQL is smart enough to understand when, yeah, SQL is smart enough to understand when it is an alphabetical order, it puts in an A to Z. That's what it's done. And here also I can use descending. We'll put it in the reverse order. All right. Now we can also, instead of using a star, I can also decide which columns I want. And select query is normally used for fetching any kind of reports that you want. Now, for example, in my report, I want only first name, last name, and city. So I can write the column names here. First name, last name, city. Now this will only fetch the required column names that I have asked it to give me back. Okay. I'm assuming you both are doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I can also put points here. Right? Now something very smart of SQL is, if I want, suppose I want to increase the points by 10%, I can straight away write here multiply by 1.1. Plus first. If I want to say add 10 bonus points for the month, I can say plus 10. Let me do this now. So I'll have a points column and another column which will be points plus 10. Let's run this.
So
Understands mathematical
it
operation of plus.
is altering the base tables, is it, by this command?
Yes. Yes. So what
Okay.
it has done is it has picked up the columns that I wanted. And in this column, I told it points plus 10 kar do. So it has created a new column, points plus 10.
Okay, created a
And
new
it has
column.
added 10 numbers to each of the points mathematically.
And it has preserved the original column of points.
Yes. In the system, the original column is only there. You're only doing a select query.
Got it. Understood.
To change a table, you will have to run an update statement. As long as you're using a select, it is only for showcasing you what you want to see.
Understood.
All right. Now you also have a concept. So now this points plus 10, you can also rename this column. There is no column in the physical table anywhere. The column is only going to be represented in the output that you are asking for as new points. So now it has changed. It has done this calculation, and you can give it an alias of new point. So a new point column is created, and the calculation of values is as per this. So this is how you create
Sorry,
alias any of
say
the
this point
columns.
again. 1 second, let me go on to
So
the bigger
first,
screen.
if you saw, we were here. So SQL didn't understand what to put as a column name, so it put the column name as points plus 10, right? But ideally, if you're generating a report, you wouldn't want your column name to be points plus 10. Maybe you want it to be new points or something, right? So you can give it an alias name of new points, which is just writing this name after points plus 10. Now, if you run it, it renames your column name only. But in terms of the content, it does the same mathematical operation.
Understood.
Is it clear? Atulya?
Ma'am, can you go once again after that? My network is not working properly.
Okay.
I have to switch devices. And can you just switch off your camera? It's still unstable.
Okay, is this better? What
Yes,
I'm explaining is, here in my table, if you see, I have a points column. Let's do this. Let's come here. This is how my original table is. Okay. I have a column by the name points. These are the points for each customer. All right. Now, if I want to create a report, and for some reason I want to add 10 points, maybe as part of some new offering or something, I can create a new column which is points plus 10, or I can use any mathematical operation. This is just an example. We'll go to other operations also. So what I've done here is, after points, I'm creating a new points column, which is nothing but points plus 10. So to create this alias, I'll have to write the new column name that I want after the mathematical operation. Now, if I run this command, as an output, it will create a new points column with 10 additional points in all the rows. Is this clear, Atulya?
One second.
And this can be any name. Now the only issue is, if I put space, I will have to put a single quotes. Just remember this. If you're putting any new name without spaces, with an underscore and all, no requirement of single quotes. As soon as you want a space to be there, you need to put single quotes to that text.
Ma'am, just stop right there. Actually, from my side, the screen is freeze. I need to rejoin it.
Okay, we wait. Shall we take a 10-minute break also? By the time Atulya joins back.
I don't know whether he can hear us now.
I cannot hear it. Yes.
But we can take a break.
You have been able to run the command?
Yeah. Yes, I'm able to.
So in the meanwhile, what you can do is, can you create a new column which gives me points with a 10% increase? Should be easier for you.
Yeah. Wait, I'll do it.
Yeah. Instead of a plus, I'm asking you to use a different mathematical operation.
Sure. Yeah. You want me to share my screen? So I've done multiply 1.1.
Yes.
First I tried plus
And you
10%,
can
it
put
did
a
not
different
work.
name also.
Yeah, I put a different name now.
Okay. Okay.
One second.
Yes. Yes. And the other one which you'll have to keep in mind is about the space issue. Like here you've named your column
Yeah,
as new
yeah,
points underscore detail.
that I've understood. So I just changed this.
Yes. Now you can run it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that I got it.
Yeah. So yeah, SQL is quite easy and it's fun to learn language because you know what is the output that you want.
Hmm.
And there is a lot of self-learning here you can do because it throws error on its own. So you'll keep struggling. You cannot go wrong.
Hmm. Got it.
The layer is not audible. So.
Hello.
Tule, we can hear you now. You're able to see the screen?
Hello.
We can hear you, Atulya. Can you just screen now?
Let's take a break so that Atulya can fix.
Yeah, I think I'll tell him we'll take a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
Okay?
मैम मैं follow up ले नहीं पाया यहाँ select first name last name city points के बाद points.
So points ke baad, you can put a name to the column is all I was saying. Here you can put a name to this column. So that when you get the output, the column name also comes up, whatever you want.
Point new.
And the other thing I was saying was if in the name you want a space, you should use a single quote. That's all. Now, as an exercise, so we'll take a 10-minute break. In the meanwhile, you can try out if you want to increase points by 10% and call it as increased points column. You can write the query for that. Got what I'm asking?
Not exactly. What is this points plus 10 means?
I'm adding points by 10. So here if you see 457, I have created a new column where I'm saying points plus 10 means 457 plus
So
10.
Parul, we are
Total
taking a break after
467.
this, right? Parul, we are taking a break after this, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've covered this,
Yeah.
I'll join you after the break.
Yeah,
Just put the time on the
you can
chat
join.
box so that I know when we're coming back.
Sure. I'll do it. Atulya, got this?
Okay. Yeah.
10 to all values. And then I'm putting a new name to this column. If the name hasn't got any spaces, I can just use directly. I don't need to use any quotes. If there is a space, I need to use quotes. Now what I'm asking you to do is like I have done plus 10, I want you to increase the points by 10% and create a new column name, increased points. as an exercise.
Okay, got it.
So we'll take a 10-minute break. Let's be back by 4:47.
Just leave this screen. I can just.
Yeah, I'm leaving the screen as is. Okay. I'll just put it in the chat window. Let's be back by 4:50. Yeah, are we back?
Yeah.
Atulya, did you try that?
Yes. 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 Ma'am. Done.
Share kar.
Ma'am, please just switch off your camera. Still unstable. I don't.
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, this is better. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this piece is understood, right? Yeah, you can stop your share. Now let's move to the next. Yeah, so in the same query, if you want to find out distinct or unique records, now here there are, in this table, you don't have one moment. Or let me just tell you, we'll get into the usability later. So whenever you want to find out distinct records, you use the word distinct. For example, select and if I say distinct points from customers, this will give me all the distinct means all the unique values in that particular column. Now where to use? Just 1 minute. Huh? Okay, so I'll share the usability when we come to it. But this is basically used if you have repetitive values in a column. And let's try that in our own database. Maybe we can do it. So this is not confusing. Let's be here only. Let me not confuse you with that. Okay, so for now, for you to understand, distinct as a command is used to get unique values from whatever column we want. And this can be used for text column as well as numerical column. So I can do distinct first underscore name from customers. Let's do this. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a 11th column here. Okay. With another Barbara. So this is the query for inserting a record. Insert into SQL store. Dot is used because this table customers is inside this schema, right? So that's how you use a dot. Tell it which exact table. And then you give all the column names and values. You will not need to actually do it because you have interfaces available. Now what I've done is I've inserted a duplicate name of Barbara here. This was more to show you distinct. So now I can do select distinct. First underscore name from customers. So this will remove all the duplicates. You can remove duplicates from text as well as from numbers. And this feature we use quite a lot in Excel also, right? Atulya, remember how were they using this? And we had learned that you can draw a pivot chart to get distinct values. So this is something similar to that. Now let's come to, like I showed you like I showed you mathematical operation here, we can also put it as part of the where clause. So I can write a statement, select star from customers, where if I want to know all the customers whose points are greater than 500, I can straight away write where points greater than 500. So all these customers have points greater than 500. So if, for example, for some report, you want to check out customers where points are greater than 1000, you can just put a number of 1000 here and it works. Okay. You can also, so under where is the condition that you will give? I must have not put it in the right syntax. Ideally, this is how you should write the query. Now in where you can give two conditions also. Let's first learn a text condition also. So I can have a condition where I say that where state is equal to, and in single quotes, I can put any of the states here. Maybe I can select VA. So it will give me that record where the state is VA. Okay. If I want city as one second. Yes, so I can pick up any of the cities also and make a statement. You can also copy from here with a Control C, Control V, so that you don't make an error. Okay. Now you can have multiple conditions. So you can write select star from customers where city is Atlanta and points is greater than 1000. So why doesn't it give any records? This was your table, right? We said where city is Atlanta and points are greater than 1000. When I did that query, it didn't give me any records here.
Points is 0. The points are 0. Particular entry.
So
they are
when I'm
not greater than
Arun?
writing this, yeah.
So I'll catch up the balance of the session later on because I have to
Okay.
prepare for the evening session. So yeah,
All right.
yeah, carry on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Atul, see you later.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Atulya, here when I'm writing a AND, it has to successfully have both the conditions because there is a AND written. Okay. So the first part was select star from customers where city is equal to Atlanta, right? Now let's see what do we get with this. It's returning 2 rows, right? Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Now, if you see the points here, they're 796 and the other one is 0. I wrote another condition points greater than 1000. So it didn't find any record which has Atlanta and this. And means both the conditions have to be met with. So it was not able to return a record. Will it return a record if I put this as greater than 500?
Yes. One record will be.
Yes. Got it?
Got it.
So this is how you use the AND operator. You can use the OR operator also. OR operator means it will allow any one of the condition if it is met, it will allow the record to be there. So in OR record, if I put greater than 1000, what do you think it will return?
Atlanta, only one. Two cases.
No. It will return more than 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because Atlanta is also accepted and more than 1000.
Yes. So all the records where more than 1000 is met, it will show, and all the records where Atlanta is. Got it?
Got it.
It's very logical, so there is no hanky-panky in this, right?
Yeah, it's a logical operator.
Yeah, these are logical operators which are the same across board. It's only the syntax which is going to change here. Right? Now here, if I want records of 2 cities, say Atlanta and Chicago, or Chicago. So one way is I can put it as city equal to here, Chicago. Okay. Right? Now, if my records were more and there were multiple cities, I would have to write a lot of OR statements, right? So instead of doing that, I can also do a shortcut where I say select star from customers where city in is a keyword, and then you put all the cities that you want. And if there are more, this will also return the same 3 records. So 2 ways of writing the same query. Got it? You can use a or you can write in and put values. Now tell me this, if I put it like this, what will happen? If I change capital to small, what is the result I'll get? Any idea?
It is SQL is case insensitive,
Yes, so
so
it will give the
should be
same
the
records.
same.
Yes, absolutely. Good. Okay. Now let's come to the dates piece. So let's do select star from customers where birth date is less than. For dates also we'll use single quotes. The default format is YY. MMDD. Okay. And let's run this. Can you tell me what is the error? It's important that you understand the errors because then you know what we are doing. It's thrown an error here. Can you see? Because there is an unknown column, it's saying. Because I misspelled the column here, you can see, right? Birth date.
Birth.
Now it's giving me all the birth dates which are lesser than 1991st Jan. Like I did yes, less than, I can do greater than also. Can you try one greater than? Say all
Now
greater than.
simultaneous.
Yeah. I want you to do simultaneously, otherwise you'll not remember and be able to do Atulya.
Yeah. Actually, every
Do
time
you want
I
me to
do it
stop
simultaneously, I
share?
don't know what is so.
बोलिए?
Just keep the screen on.
Yeah.
1 second.
You want to do it later? I'm okay.
Every
But
time I do simultaneously.
अच्छा, your screen
Yes.
freezes, is it?
Actually, every time freeze हो जाती है बार-बार.
नहीं तो फिर छोड़ दीजिए. You try all these
Might
later
be
and then come back. ठीक है?
Mhm.
Go through the recording, try all these and then come back. Okay. Like you're using less than, you can also use greater than here. This is a symbol for not equal to this. You can use a greater than also. All right. Now, like in Excel, you also have a inbuilt functions here. So for today's date, you have a function which is called current underscore date. Okay. So now you should tell me how should I find the age of all the customers? Or can you do it as part of your exercise?
I didn't get.
I've put it in your exercise only.
Sorry.
So I want you to calculate the age column. Create a new age column on customer's age, basis the birth date available, and you can use the function current underscore date.
Just stop. The screen is freezed.
Sorry. So what I want you to make a query is for the age of all the customers. So you'll do a select star from customers and add a column age also.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll do select. Maybe let's do this. First name, second age. Now here age will be a calculated value. How will you calculate age? You only have birth date. See, this is what you have. I want you to add a age column. You want me to show it or you'll do it on your own?
How would how would I then formulate this? Like,
Forward. So let's go stepwise. Let's do
how
this.
can I form? Yeah. How can I calculate age?
So first, let's see what is the current date. Okay, I'm adding a column of current date. Now this is current
So,
date, right? For age, what do I need? How will you calculate age? If you
subtract current
calculate,
from birth date.
yes, so you will calculate the year, current year and birth year and subtract, right? So I'll put a year function also. Let's see if this is working. Yes, so I've got the years of birth date. I'll do a current date year function also. Okay. Now I just need to minus, right? It's throwing some error. Oh, there's a version issue. Okay. This exercise you've done in Excel, you remember, Atulya?
Yes, yes. I have. I have. Mhm.
I think there must be a year function. This was running just now, no? Select first underscore name, last underscore name, birth underscore date, customers. This gives me the birth year, right? And I can actually put a alias to this as birth year. This is okay until here for you? So this is my birth year, comma. Let me see what is available in here. till here it is clear, right?
Yes, yes. Very okay.
So how should we
How can we
subtract now?
subtract that?
Let me do this. Let me just name it as by and py. Should ideally work.
PY is the unknown.
Huh? Thing is not working. Got it? It was giving an error because of the brackets.
Okay, yeah. Brackets.
Yeah. But I want you to do this on your own. Okay?
Sure.
Where you calculate the age of customers and put it as a column. Now you can also name this as age. Column. Okay? Now here also you can have multiple conditions, which means like here I'm putting this right now. I can put where age is greater than 40, for example, and let's see if this works. Still understanding this well, yes. This it is saying is some version, which means if I want this, I'll have to put the full formula here. Correct? The other way to do it. So all customers whose age is greater than 40. Okay. Now along with this, I can have more conditions. I can say and first name in, and I can put say Avaran, comma, maybe Levy. Okay. What will this do?
Sure, so only Babar and Levy.
It will show me Babar and Levy where the age is already calculated as greater than 40.
40.
Right? Now I can also put another condition here, or last name in Roseburg. Rosen. Now what will it do?
Will also show Rosebud and Dawson. Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah. So this is how logical operators work. SQL is very intelligent. It just picks up the right logic and puts it up, right? Sometimes even when we don't think of it, can
Right.
think more than us, because as a machine, it's more capable. So this is how you can use multiple operators here. So you can use and, or, and you can further use more brackets if you want to prioritize some condition. Like, I can put and points greater than 500. Okay. Now I can also add this piece. Oh, I forgot to tell you, put comments in MySQL, you just put 2 dashes like this. This becomes a comment. Okay. So what is it returning? In this condition, it has for first name is Barbara or Levi and points greater than 500. Both these conditions are picked up along with age condition, right? So this and or piece is clear, Atulya? If
Yes,
I
yes.
put
In
a
the
or,
last function, in the last function, the points column is not shown in the result bar, result grid.
this one. Yes, tell me why is the points column not shown? Good question.
Mhm.
Yeah. You should be able to tell me why is points column not shown. And how can I show it?
Yeah, because of the select function. The select function is not taking all of the
Yeah,
whole
I didn't
array,
put select
only
star. I
select
put
all.
some columns. So if I put points here, it will show me. Right?
Right.
And if I put or here, what will happen?
Levy,
Will it
it
show
will
me more
also show Levy
records or less?
more than
That will show only one.
right.
Will it show me one record or more?
More than one record.
Yes, it will show me more than one because it is or. So the conditions are one is there is age condition, but currently it's showing me lesser age also. Why is that? Why is it showing me like 35, 36 age?
Because the condition of greater than 500 is also accepted.
Very good. So because the points condition is in the or part. Or part means it has to fulfill either this and this or this. Because this is in the or part, everything which is greater than 500, there it will not look at age also. And if I put it as and try to, will it show me less records now?
Yes.
Yes, because it will try to fulfill all the three conditions. Clear, right?
Yes,
Then
yes,
I can
clear.
move forward.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Now, like you have a current date, you have a year function, which I showed you. You also have a day function and a month function. Okay. In terms of mathematical operators, like we saw in Excel also, it follows the same BODMAS rule, which is first it does the brackets, then it does the division, multiplication. Do you remember that?
Yes, yes. The board must be yes.
It
Operator
follows
precedence.
this, yeah, the operator precedence. It uses bracket, order, division, multiplication, addition, and then subtraction. So it follows the same rule like any other mathematical thing that you have. Now we can also do one more thing here. So do this. So let's come here. So if I have a select statement, say select are from customers, and it's a very, very interactive tool. So if you see, the moment I make a mistake here, Atulya, like customers is wrong here, right? It's giving me a cross. If I correct it, it'll correct it.
Mm-hmm.
It's able to catch it very fast. Now it's still giving a cross. Do you know why? I have to write where clause, right? Now it's understood, it's
Yes.
right. So it's very interactive as a tool. Okay, now I'm saying select from customers with last name in Roseburg or Dawson. Okay, these are the records it gives me. Now, if I want the reverse of this, which means I want records where the last name is not Roseburg or not Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can simply put a not here and this will work. It'll give me everything other than these two. Reversing the condition basically. So the where was,
Got it.
first it was give me these two names in last name. By putting a not, I have just reversed the condition. There's another way of doing the same thing. So I can say select star from customers. Where last underscore name is not equal to or last underscore name is not equal to doves. Okay, so what will this give me? It's still giving me Dawson. Why? Can you see here?
Mm-hmm.
I said I don't want records, right? Which have Dawson. Why did it give me? Any guess? And SQL keeps you thinking all the time. So you cannot be sitting and writing a query. Your brain has to keep working. I hope you're enjoying and not getting bored. We use the or operator, right? That's why it is
Right,
giving me
right.
Dawson. If I use and operator, it will not give me Dawson. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very long way to write because once I have to write last name is not this, and then I have to write last name is not this. Instead, I can use where not last name and this and this. This is a shortcut to write. Correct?
Right.
If you have multiple elements there, then it will be even more easier. Okay. Now let's go to the next. Now let's use where clause. And what we will use in where clause is a between statement. So where points between so if I want all the points which are between say 500 and 1000. Okay. So this is how you use the between keyword. So the next query I want you to write, and let me put it in your assignment sheet. So you're going to get an assignment sheet also.
Sure.
Yes, I want you to put fetch all records from customer table where age is between 45 to 50. You'll be able to do that, right?
The screen is freeze, man.
Yeah, 1 minute, 1 minute. I'm updating your assignment sheet, so screen is freezed. Okay. It freezes when I go to another screen and write something. Okay. Okay, so similarly, you can find out points with any between condition, right? That's easy.
That's easy.
Age you will be able to do between. Let me just show you how does it work between with dates. So between works with dates seamlessly, which means if I want to say select star from customers where birth underscore date. And if you get stuck in what is the column name, you can just parallelly see it here. Okay. Date between, and we'll put it in single quotes, and the format will be the same. So y, and I can put another date. So I don't remember between this and what. Let me put 2000. I don't know if that is there in the date or not. Okay. Yeah, it's there. So like between works for numbers, it works for dates seamlessly in the same format.
Right.
Okay, now let's move to the text part. And all these are used when you have to generate a report of customers who are between the age of say 45 to 50. These can be actual use cases. Right? When you want to generate a report, this is how you'll write the query. Okay. Now let's come to the text part. You can do text comparisons also. So suppose select star from customers where first underscore name. Now, if I have to write a query where I want to say that the name starts with B, for example, I'll write like. Starts with me means I'll put B as the first character, and percentage means any character can be there. This will give me all the names which start with B.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if I want this B to be anywhere in the name, not as first or last character, I can put percentage B percentage. Can you see this? Between also it has captured.
Mm-hmm.
If I want it to be at the end, I'll put percentage B. It didn't find any. Let me put percentage A, it will find. Got it?
Got it.
So here, 1 minute, let me just add to your assignment that I will want you to fetch all records where last name ends with Y should be there. Y is there. Ends with Y. You'll be able to do that, right? Let's now move to now you can also define so percentage is for any number of characters. Similarly, you can define the number of characters with the underscore. For example, if I want 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth character as A, I will say 1, 2, 3, and fourth is A. I can do a search select query like this. So percentage means any number of characters. Underscore is for exact number. So each underscore becomes one character. So now let me ask you this. Okay, if I want in the first name, the third character should be M, what should I write in the like? Third character M. If I want third character as M, I'll do 1 underscore, 2 underscore, and write a M. And after that, I want more characters. So I'll put a percentage. Will this work? Got it, Atulya? Is the last one clear?
Show it again. Percentage.
I want to have the third character as M. Okay. So I'm saying 1, 2, 3, M. But after that, there can be more characters. So I'm
Third character.
putting percentage.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So now if I run this, it will give me a record where third character is N, and after that, there can be many characters. If I want last character as A,
Ma'am, give me a minute, 1 second. Somebody showed up on my phone.
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
If I want the last character as A in the first name, what should I write here, Atulya?
Sorry, what was the question?
If I want the last character as A, last character A, what should I write?
Last character A,
Yeah,
percentage A.
good. So you have understood. So you're getting all last character A's, right? And first character A will be?
A percentage.
Good. I'm glad you have understood this piece. So that is about the like operator where you can use as number of count of characters or any number of characters. Percentage is any number and underscore is exact number of characters. Okay. There
Like
is,
only works on alphabetic characters.
yes. Because for others you wouldn't
Okay.
need it. No, see if it is select star from where say if it is points, you will do say less than equal to 500. वर्जन इशू कुछ दिखाता है. What's the error here? Oh yeah, I got it. What is the error, Atulya? I have not put a semicolon here. So that's how it is very interactive. You need to be on the top of things for you to understand, right?
Got
Now what's the error? Can you tell me? It says unknown column point.
Point
And
is
these
not
are,
real.
sorry? Say again, sorry.
The point column does not exist. The point column does not exist in the
But I
SQL
thought we
customer.
had a point column, no? So this is how you should know
Actually, it
to.
was points.
Yes, absolutely.
Points that.
That's the reason I asked you, so that you understand where and how to search the problem. So all you have to do is look here in your columns. You can see it is points. Your name should be exactly the same. It was working proactively also, no? Here. Okay. So here, this I told you, right? You can give less than, greater than, all of that. We discussed that. So for strings, we'll use the like function. For numerical things, we'll use the mathematical function, right? And we discussed how to use and
Right.
or also. So as part of your assignment, you can also give me all, I think that should be doable, yes. Select all customers whose first name ends with A and have more than 1000 points. You'll be able to do that, right? Now there is also a regular expression thing, which is again used like for strings, like the function like the keyword like, but it is a little easier. So for example, if I have select star from customers where, and I can put that I want you to remember this. Let me copy this here. So I can put where first name, and then I can put regexp, which is regular expression. And this. So this symbol means beginning of the string. Okay. So if I write this statement, yes. So if I write this statement, select star from customers where first name regular expression, and I'm putting this symbol and A, this would mean it starts with A. Okay. So this is the result that it will give. This is something similar to like that we did. Are you with me, or is it too confusing? Or we can hold this and do it later. Like you have understood, right? How to get first, last?
No, what was the agenda of this? Raised XP.
So what happens in like, in regular expression, it makes your task easier than what it is in like. And let me show you how. So for example, I want all the names in first name where they could be starting with any character from A to D, suppose. Okay. Then I can simply use A to D. So this would mean, give me all customer names where the first name starts from A to D. For start, I'll have to put this.
It's like a range function.
It's, yeah. Okay. Now this piece, if you have to write in like, how will you like it? Write it? And you know that now. If you have to use like, how will you write? Select star from customers where first underscore name like, you will have to write A%, right? Then you will have to put a or, then repeat this whole thing with B. Then with C. So this is very cumbersome to write, right?
Right. Got it.
So what I showed you just now, regular function, is actually a shortcut for this. The result will be the same. Okay. So in regular function, this symbol which we use for, sorry, I missed the name of this one. What is the symbol called? Caret, I think. Yeah. Which we use to give power in mathematical terms. That is used for beginning. So I've used this function, you can see here, right? This is the beginning. If you put a dollar, it becomes end. So this query was for beginning from A to D. If I want to make it ending A to D, I will just put a dollar. So this would mean wherever first name is ending with A or D, A to D, there are no such names. I think in second name there will be. Sorry, last name. Let me do this. First name, regular function, and let's put this back. So this was beginning with A to D. Right? Here, instead of putting A to D, you can also put AB. So it will just pick up these two characters, or ABC, for example. This will mean any of the first name which starts with A, B, or C. Instead of a range, I'm giving it the characters. If I put a dash, it becomes a range.
Right.
Okay? And like I said here, dollar means, so I can also put EY dollar. This means ending with EY. Now here there is also another advantage you have where you can say starting with ABC, you can use a pipe in between. Okay. Or I can say ending with E. So this will give me all the first names which are either starting with ABC or ending with E. Clear or confused, Atulya?
Did you run this command?
I ran it. So this, if you see, is giving me anything which is starting with ABC or ending with E.
C.
Or ending with E.
Yes.
Dollar E. All right. But with a pipe, I can give multiple conditions together. I don't have to repeatedly write like I have to write in like. Okay? It can also give me stuff where I can say, for example, here if I want to write, I want all the first names where they start with B and have maybe R, you in the name. So I've not said starts with. I'm saying all names which have B or are you in their names. I can also say which start with B. Then it'll not show me any. So what you have to remember is this caret sign is for beginning of a string, dollar is for the end of a string, pipe is used for a logical OR. If you give in brackets ABC, this is to match any of these characters. And if you give the range A-D, it will match any characters from A to D. Is that clear?
Right. Got it.
Got it now?
Yes. It only works on categorical, like
It works only on
only on.
strings. It works only on varchar category type of columns. Okay. Now let's come to null function. So let's first see. So our statement is select star from customers. Okay, so if I have to identify records where phone is null, I can write where phone is null is a keyword by itself. Okay? I can also use the reverse of it, which is not null. Just give me all the records other than this record. So a lot of times you have to fetch records where there is no null value in a particular column. This is for that. Clear? Any doubts so far?
तो प्रैक्टिस पे ही आएंगे मैम.
हाँ, इसमें आपको प्रैक्टिस, इसीलिए मैंने बोला ये हैंड्स ऑन सेशन ही हो सकता है. इसमें if I show you scripts, it's not going to help you. You will not know what kind of errors also you can make. So let's do this. What I will do is I have created like कितने pointers हैं इसमें? Around 8-10 queries which I want you to do. Okay. I'll write there. What I'm doing is I have just built up a small exercise for you. Okay. I want you to solve those, which will use the same database. Let me name it as exercise 1, and then we will do some more later. So Atulya, two things that I'll want from you. All the queries that we have done until now, I want you to try them. Okay.
Okay.
And the second thing which I want you to do, I'm putting up this Word document. I'm calling it exercise 1. I want you to write the queries for all these in a Word document, or you can save a SQL file, whichever suits you. Okay? This whole exercise 1 is basis what we have learned today. What more is left which I wanted to cover? Yeah, I think we can leave it there. Yes, Atulya, any doubts you have so far? ये करने से ही आएगा. This is not where you can see me running on the treadmill. You will not be able to do anything. You have to do the exercise on your own. And next session is going to be a lot more complex queries. So please sharpen these basic ones and then we'll move to the next. Okay? Atulya, are you there? Any doubt? Anything you have to say?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Atulya.
Yeah. Actually, this.
There is a network issue.
So yes, regarding doubt. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sending you on chat because I cannot hear you.
Yeah, unfortunately, uh, network is थोड़ा unstable हो रहा है.
Let me just give you a call, Atulya.
हम्म.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
Hello.
can you hear me here?
Yes. Hello. Hello.
I can hear you. We will be getting into different types of joins, group by, subquerying, and all of that. Okay. So if your basic queries are done and you're comfortable, it will be easier for us to move there. Okay. So practice on these. We have covered most of the basic stuff. Next one will be advanced query. So next session we'll be doing advanced query and we'll talk a little bit about NoSQL databases. Okay. Okay. Shall we do it next Wednesday or you want it early?